Let me see if I've got this all straight here. Tackle the exterior and interior, check. Pass on the engine area, no dish soap, check. Oh, and don't forget Carnauba in the wax and happy shiny wheels. I think we're actually ready to do this thing. Bring on the driveway.
Well, home sweet home and back to my driveway, and has there ever been a better Saturday to give my baby the spot treatment it deserves? Why is it such a great day? Well, first of all, exterior conditions. We've got nice cloud cover giving us some shade, which is fantastic. If you can't get it naturally as we have today, don't go looking under a tree for it, because tree sap, bird droppings are the mortal enemy. If you need to avoid direct sunlight, maybe try getting up earlier in the morning or later at night to avoid less intense sun. Secondly, comfort. I got jeans and boots on that I don't mind getting dirty or wet either way, and more importantly, I've removed everything that's going to scratch. Jewelry, watches, buttons, with one exception, and that's my belt buckle. So I'll tell you what, a quick untuck and we're ready to go. You know, I just love these optional alloy aluminum wheels on this Taurus, but unless they are beautifully clean with those tires dressed, it looks like you're wearing running shoes with a tuxedo, and that just doesn't work right, does it? Between road dirt and brake dust, it is the worst to keep these things clean. We get to break two cardinal rules of car washing. First of all, we're going to try and blast away that dirt with a good strong stream of water. And secondly, instead of using nice soft chemicals on it, we're going to go to more harsher chemicals like dishwashing detergent, or in this case, we're going to use this all-purpose wheel clean. I clean the crevices and the nooks and crannies amongst the wheel, kind of like tooth floss does to your teeth. Next up was this square flat brush. Had good stiff bristles on it, and it was great for cleaning the flat surfaces of the rim as well as the edge of the rim. And while we're at it, let's give the outside of the tire a good once over. Before the solvent has a chance to dry, let's get some water on it. I mean a good, strong, steady stream of water. Just keep spraying and spraying all around the wheel and the tire until you see the suds start to dissipate. Before the wash mitt ever touches the metal of this car, we need to get it wet, thoroughly wet, from top to bottom. But we don't want to blast the dirt off. The washing is going to come later. We want a nice, gentle, caressing mist across the body of the car. And remember, water good, scratches bad. There's no better place to start than right on top. Working your way down to the bottom of the car one section at a time with overlapping strokes of the mitt. And once you've completed this section, make sure you use a good soaking of water across it, and then refresh the mitt with soap and water solution before you head to the next section of the car. How much? Well, for a car of this size, 3, maybe even 4 full buckets should do you just fine. You know, don't be afraid to kind of let yourself go and get right down and involved in the cleaning of the car, and you'll fall into a zen-like state, but with the trickling of the water and the contours of the body of the car, and you never know when you're going to oh, right there. That's the stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Baby, give me that and let me give you that running her hands through my fro, bouncing on 24s. Why they say I'm ready? Drying the car is a pretty simple process, really. You take our squeegee and dry off the glass surfaces first, and secondly, for most of the heavy work is going to be done with our microfiber towel. Make sure you got it good and soaking wet after you get it out of the package. Wring it out good. Grab the cloth by its corners, drape it across the panel you're looking to dry, and just bring it slowly back. And it did a pretty good job. Why don't we just fold it up and bring it across by hand and pick up whatever we might have missed on the first pass, wring it out again, and repeat. And as long as you manage that rhythm throughout the rest of the process, the car will dry quickly and you'll be ready to move on. As with any gift, and washing and cleaning a car as we have today is certainly a gift to yourself, sometimes the wrapping can be the most exciting part of the whole thing. So, let's wrap this by giving it a good coat of wax. The best part about waxing a vehicle is that it's fairly straightforward and simple. If you've read the instructions and you get into it a little bit and you just think to yourself, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off, wax on. Holy Miyagi! If you think back to when we washed the car before we dried it, take a look at how the water forms on the horizontal surfaces, like the roof and the hood. If the water is sheeting, i.e. there are no beads of water on it, then it's overdue. If the water is beading, but the diameter of those water beads is greater than, let's say, a quarter, then it's time. Generally, you'll wax a vehicle 4 to 6 times a year, depending on the use. Pick a small area of maybe half a foot to 30 centimeters and just go in round circular motion. What you're waiting for is maybe a minute to 2 minutes at the very most for the wax to dry. And then you give it the finger test, which is basically take a sample, rub it between your fingertips, and if it feels dry and chalky to the touch, it's ready to come off. Nice clean cloth, turning frequently and start removing the wax. Just back and forth motion, turn it over when you start to feel some resistance. If throughout the entire removal process you continue to feel resistance, that means you put on too much wax, and in your next section, maybe put on a little less. One final turn of the cloth to a nice clean section, and let's give that spot a last good going over. But we're not done yet. Why don't we take the edge of the cloth, run it along the edge of the panel that we just finished to clear off any residue that might have dripped over, and perfection.
Oh, we are quite pleased with ourselves, aren't we? I must admit, it wasn't really that difficult, but we're not done yet. Coming up next, Kevin pulls an inside job.